What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports here at the Voice of College Football on the Oregon channel, and we're going to preview the 2023 schedule that just came out today for the Oregon Ducks. Here was the schedule from 2022, Oregon going 10-3. You look back at these games. Now, they never had a chance against Georgia, but Washington, a game that they had a great opportunity to win. I still look back at that fourth down decision to go for it without Bo Nix in the game. If he had not gotten hurt, then maybe they get that. That's a game they really should have won. Oregon State's a game that they had in control. You go back, you win those two games. Oregon has a chance to win the Pac-12 championship, go to the college football playoff. Could have been a much different year, but just looking at this schedule, they had the big non-conference game against Georgia. Thought BYU was going to be a bigger game, but they wound up taking care of business there. BYU wasn't as good as we thought. That one really wasn't all that close, but they got really hot in the middle of the season and just lost a couple of games there late. But a schedule that saw them going on the road to face Washington State, Arizona, Cal, Colorado, and Oregon State. So they had 5 road games in the Pac-12. That should mean, I believe, that they will have 5 home games this year. We'll get to that schedule. Let's first look at who they play in the non-conference. It'll be Portland State on the road at Texas Tech, and then Hawaii. So they do have a Power 5 opponent in Texas Tech. I've seen the Red Raiders in a few of the way too early top 25 rankings, so I think there is a perception that Texas Tech is going to be pretty good this year, so that could be a challenge there. And then, of course, Portland State, Hawaii should be easy wins for the Ducks in those two. So let's go to the entire schedule now and go week by week. They will open up with Portland State and then Texas Tech, week 2. Again, I think most people are going to assume that's probably an easy win for Oregon, but Texas Tech could be a challenge. Playing on the road, that could be a really good game there. And then Hawaii on September 16th, that'll be a home game, and they'll play their 3 non-conference games right out of the gate. Then it's on to Pac-12 conference play. They will open things up with Colorado, which will be a very interesting matchup there. Of course, Deion Sanders taking over. Don't really know for sure what to expect from this Colorado team. Could be a challenge for Oregon, or maybe not. Maybe it takes them some time. But they will be playing at home, so you do like the Ducks' chances in that one. And then they'll close out the month of September with a road game against Stanford. Stanford, they're in rebuild mode right now, so you definitely like Oregon's chances in that game. And I really like where their bye week is. It's after playing Stanford, and it's between these back-to-back road games before playing Washington. That is a really good spot, in my opinion, for this bye week. They'll be playing them pretty early in the year, again, October 14th. I feel like they usually play a little bit later, but I guess that's about right. So October 14th on the road at Washington, their first really, really big test, probably a top 10 matchup, and that's going to be a really big game, really huge game there in the Pac-12. Oregon at Washington. Oregon looking for some revenge. After that, they'll play Washington State at home. Watch out. This is going to be a trap game right in between Washington and Utah, in between 2 very tough road games. Washington State could be a tough one. Then it's Utah on October the 28th. They'll play the Utes on the road in what also should be a really tough game. So Utah, Washington on the road in the month of October. Going to be 2 really tough ones. Then it's on to the month of November. They'll play California on the 4th at home. Then they get USC at home on November 11th. Finish things out with a road game against Arizona State and a home game against Oregon State. So yes, they will have 5 home games in the Pac-12. They'll play 4 road games, and then you add in Texas Tech. They'll have you add that one in there, and they'll have 5 road games overall. But really, the first part of the schedule, the first 5 games, not too tough. Then you get into some tougher games, but they don't have anything that's super tough back-to-back. It is spread out a little bit. Washington, then Washington State, then Utah. They get a kind of a break with Cal, then USC, a little bit of a break with Arizona State, and then Oregon State. So not any real tough, super tough back-to-backs here on the schedule. But some very tough games. Washington and Utah both on the road, and USC. I kind of look at the big 4 in the Pac-12 as Oregon, Utah, USC, and Washington coming into 2023. And so they're going to play the other 3 teams there, and they'll play 2 of those 3 games on the road. So that will be tough. They do avoid UCLA. I guess that's some good news. But again, a schedule that it's pretty tough, but not horrible. when you look at how the games are spread out, the Ducks will have to take care of business. They'll have to win at home against USC, and then you've got to go on the road and knock off either Washington or Utah if they're going to have a chance to make the college football playoff in 2023. But everything else on the schedule, very manageable. So this does set up to give Oregon a chance to have a really big year in 2023.